Hello and welcome back, my hot little honey buns, my little toasty woasties. I know it's been a minute. I have spent the last 16 months searching and auditioning and being disappointed by a host of different hair and makeup artists and stylists. But I do think that we have finally found our guy.
Don't need to use your brain, don't need to use your eyes.
Yeah. And we're back to shoot again. So to start things off, we are going to be making my dream cake, a Barbie doll cake. I know that there's been a big movie out for a while now, and we're all very excited.
What's this stupid cat doing here?
Barbie as the princess and the pauper.
So let's make our dreams come true and get started on the cake. Okay, so let's get started. We have here my regular gluten-free cake recipe. I have baked it in an 8-inch pan, 2 6-inch pans, and a little baby 4-inch pan. And we are making, of course, the classic Barbie ball gown cake. So these cakes are going to be making the skirt of Barbie's ball gown. So they will eventually be stacked. We're gonna trim it and carve it a little bit so that we get a beautiful ball gown shape. So we have our cakes. I have made a batch of regular vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream, and I have a little filling of lemon curd that I've added a little bit extra clementine zest and lime zest to. So I'll link all of the recipes for those below. The other thing that you will need, of course, is a doll. In this case, I have this fabulous Malibu Barbie style Barbie. So we just need to get her ready for the cake. And Jess has given her such a stunning blowout. Jess is our new makeup artist. She looks great. The other option that you have, if you can find it, are these vintage Wilton little cake girlies. These came out in around the 70s when there was the Wilton cake revival, when Wilton had a mail-in list of cake decorations, so you could get things like this. It is a little bit terrifying, but we love her. Okay, so to start, I'm just going to take Barbie's modesty cloth off and use a cookie cutter that fits over her hips to cut holes in each of the cake layers to make sure that she can fit inside. So it's a lot easier to use a cookie cutter than trying to stab at your cake and make it not mangled. So we are going to cut little circles out for Barbie to fit through, and I'm gonna keep all of the scraps in a bowl because we might need to use them later to do some sculpting. All right, so now that we have prepared our cake layers, we are ready to prepare our Barbie doll. I have here looks like an early 90s Malibu type Barbie. She is very clean, don't worry. And we are going to wrap her in saran wrap just to keep all of the cake crumbs and all the buttercream out of all her little nooks and crannies. And everything's gonna be covered in frosting, so you really don't have to worry about the saran wrap showing through. I absolutely played with Barbies until I was like 12 or 13. Not necessarily like narratives, but just dressing them up. You know, this Barbie is so pretty. Look at just the perfect arms and the perfect eyeshadow and blue eyelashes. Pretty lipstick. Hey Jess. I'm feeling a little like we could do more, like more color, more pop. What do you think?
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Yeah. All right, Jess has done a few quick touch-ups and we are ready to assemble our cake. Now, normally I would take our buttercream and put that in the center of our cake circle, but obviously we have removed the centers, so I'm gonna make a little disc shape. And it might feel like this 8-inch layer on the bottom is a little big, but we are going to trim it up. So we put that there. And I am a glutton for punishment, so we're gonna try to fill this cake as well. So I'm also just putting a little layer of frosting here. I'm gonna cover it, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon curd on top. All right, we have a base layer of frosting, and I'm just gonna add a moat for our filling because I am challenging myself. So because this cake layer is smaller than this one, we're gonna bring the edges of the moat in. So we're just gonna have a really thin kind of river of filling for this layer. Just so that when we carve it, we don't have any horror stories. Okay, and in here I have my regular lemon curd recipe. I've just added some clementine zest and some lime zest to kind of make it a citrusy vibe. And just like with restraint, we add the lemon curd. Perfect. And now we are going to add the next layer. I just have a lot of, Jess, I have hair in my teeth. Thank you. Now we're going to add our next layer. I always put the cake layers upside down so that it's more flat and easier. Oof, it fit. Everything is fine. All right, and we're just going to do the same thing on this second layer. So a layer of buttercream. And I'm just going to fix this up in the middle so that it's not falling in our doll. And then we will add our moat. Next, okay, let's just do a little quick. Yes. Perfect. Okay, and our final layer, I'm not going to add lemon curd because it's not going to happen. Next, we have this guy. I'm going to smooth all of this buttercream out, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge for 20 to 25 minutes so that everything can chill before we carve it. You want it to be very, very cold. You can even put it in the freezer before you carve it. And if you're using filling, now is the time to make sure it's not dripping out because we are at the point of no return. All right, chickens, we have pulled our cake out of the fridge. It is nice and firm. It's not sticking all over my finger when I touch it. And so now we are going to carve the cake. But to be able to accurately carve the cake, I need to insert the Barbie. So she has a little bow to keep her hair free of frosting. Look at her, beauty and she's grace. She's Miss United States. All right, so we are ready to carve. We're just gonna carve these edges out so it's more of a unified ball gown shape. And I'm using a really finely serrated blade. I don't think I'm even gonna carve the bottom. I like how the skirt gets bigger. All right, so now I'm just gonna finish building her up with dun, 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 some of these little cake pieces that we had left over. Right. She is ready to be crumb coated, so we're just going to seal in all these crumbs with some of our buttercream, and then we're going to put her back in the fridge. And once I'm done carving, I'm just going to put this back into the fridge to set. She is so pretty. Jess, I think we need more.
Okay. Sure.
All right, now who is the pretty princess? Thank you, Jess. We are ready to decorate this cake. So let's get started. Get our arms up. Did you ever listen to Put Your Arms Up for Detroit? Oh, I love this city. I love this city. No? You guys weren't in the UK house scene in 2008? Cool. So first I'm just going to use this to coat the entirety of her skirt. Oh my God, girl. Okay, we're gonna smooth all that out. And we're not trying to totally smooth it right now. We're just trying to kind of fill in where there's any holes between that layer of pink buttercream that we frosted on top. And then to smooth the dome shape, we're going to be using a flexible spatula. And we want that because it can just flex around the dome shape. And it's not going to be perfect at first. It takes 2 times, 7 times. Just smoothing it out. If there's little bubbles in it, if there's little inconsistencies, we are going to be decorating over top of it. So buttercream heals all wounds. Spin my angel of music. Her skirt is looking smooth. We're gonna add some ruffles and some details on top. For the bodice, I'm using this little star tip. It is a Wilton 18. And for the bodice, we're just gonna show you my hand. We're just doing small little star tips. All right, her bodice is complete and adorable. I'm just going to use this cookie cutter, the corners of it, to mark where I'm going to connect the ruffles of her gown so that they're evenly spaced. So here, around here. There's no going back after this. All right, so I'm just going to be using this. This is it's not even a Wilton. This is a Teco 101, but it's essentially just a long ruffle tip. It has a teardrop shape. Arms up. I'm going to work on the top of her skirt now. We have a Wilton 1, and we're going to use that to do like a lace motif. Starting at a little corner where you can hide, you're just following your heart. And wiggling. If you need to take a break because you can't squeeze for so long, just try to end it back on the ruffle. All right, so now I'm just gonna go ham. Add a little bit more frosting down here, add a little bit more ruffles, add a little more zhuzh, and then she's almost ready for her close-up. One more ruffle. And just because I can, and I absolutely must, I will be adding some little pearls. Okay, and finally, she's gonna get a little bow. Right there. And we will release her bow. Ah. And here she is in all of her glory. Give us a spin, girlie. Go on. Yes. And wouldn't it be nice if we could all be as pretty as a Barbie doll? If I could be as pretty as a Barbie doll. Jess, we need more.
Lauren, I think that's enough.
No, I think we could do more for cheek. I think I have one of those faces that can hold foundations.
All right. A little more.